consider yourself someone who is on a journey of self-growth and healing? If you are, and you're anything like me, it's a long road with many ups and downs. And do you ever wonder if self-growth and healing could be too much of a good thing, or if it even has a shadow side? If you have wondered this, you might be right. What do I mean? Stick around and find out. Hi, I'm Hope. I'm the author of the book, The Creative Toolbox, a practical guide to discovering and using your creativity. And I love helping people explore intuition, creativity, and self-awareness for a freer, more conscious life. To help more people access this information, please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. As life-changing as growth and healing can be, it has a shadow side when we confuse the first stage of growth, self-awareness, with other processes, such as self-monitoring. While self-awareness is a crucial step toward healing, there is a difference between self-awareness and self-monitoring. Self-awareness is being able to notice your thoughts, emotions, motivations, habits, and effects on others. It leads to understanding of the self. You see yourself as a curious observer, and you gather information. Self-monitoring is regulating your appearance, behavior, or performance for the purpose of managing or adjusting yourself. You are in shadow territory when your observations turn into surveillance. So when you are self-aware, you may think, I'm feeling defensive right now. But when you are self-monitoring, you may think, I'm feeling defensive. Am I showing it? How am I coming across? Did they notice? Am I handling this correctly? Rather than simply being aware of an experience, there is a shift into evaluating and managing it. Here are some signs that self-awareness has turned into self-monitoring. Number 1, you stop experiencing and start watching yourself experience. Instead of being present in a conversation, you are focused on evaluating yourself. How do I sound? Do I seem real? Am I dominating the conversation? Did I say the right thing? It's as though you are an actor and a movie critic at the same time. Number 2, your curiosity turns into judgment. When you are self-aware, you ask, what's happening inside me? When you are self-monitoring, you ask, is what I'm feeling acceptable? The goal moves from understanding yourself to correcting yourself. Number 3, reflection becomes rumination. The reflection occurring from self-awareness may look like, that meeting didn't go well. What can I learn? While self-monitoring may be, why did I say that? Why do I always do that? What do people think of me now? Rather than learning from the experience, the mind starts looping its evaluation questions. And number 4, authenticity turns into performance. If someone holds authenticity in high regard, ironically, they may end up monitoring whether they're being authentic. This may turn into portraying themselves as a self-aware person, which actually is a form of self-consciousness. Why does this move from self-awareness to self-monitoring happen? There can be a number of reasons, such as fear of making mistakes, the desire to improve, social anxiety, perfectionism, high-level conscientiousness, or the frequent feedback you receive from therapy, coaching, or personal development work. Whatever the reason, it stems from an underlying belief that if I pay close enough attention to myself, I can prevent discomfort, failure, rejection, or conflict. But this isn't the way things work in the human experience. No matter how much you monitor yourself, you will always feel some uncertainty. The paradox is that while self-awareness is meant to increase freedom, self-monitoring frequently decreases it. With healthy awareness, you notice the issue and choose how to respond. When awareness becomes monitoring, you are very focused on managing the issue, your response to it, and the reactions of others, that there is no more spontaneity. Increased anxiety, reduced presence, difficulty making decisions, overthinking social interactions, and feeling disconnected from yourself may result. So one way to tell whether you are utilizing self-awareness or self-monitoring is asking, am I trying to understand myself, or am I trying to manage myself? Understanding leads to insight. Constant management leads to tension. Another shadow we may encounter in our healing journey is when we begin to believe that healing means perfectionism. It's important to know the difference between the two. Healing is about becoming more whole rather than fragmented, while perfectionism is about striving to have no flaws. When someone begins to work on their healing, it's because they want to understand themselves better, recover from painful experiences, build healthier relationships, develop emotional resilience, or reduce unnecessary suffering, to name a few. Healing is pursued to care for the parts of us that are hurting. We can then experience compassion and growth. How does healing turn into perfectionism? Often it happens when we no longer see healing as a process, but as a self-improvement project. The person starts to believe that once they heal enough, they will no longer struggle, or that if they are still triggered, anxious, sad, angry, or insecure, they aren't healed yet. So rather than seeing a difficult emotion as part of being human, it is seen as evidence of failure. Here are some common signs of healing turning into perfectionism. Number 1, treating emotions as problems to eliminate. Someone involved in a healthy healing process may think, I'm anxious today. Let me understand what's contributing to that. Someone who is focused on perfectionism may think, why am I still anxious? I've done so much work on myself. Rather than relating to emotions differently, the person tries to get rid of them completely. Number 2, measuring yourself against an idealized version of healing. The person creates an image of what a healed person should be like. Always self-aware, calm under pressure, secure in relationships, emotionally regulated, never reactive, and very insightful. Then they compare themselves to these standards, but ironically, there's no real human who can meet them. Number 3, turning every struggle into evidence of unfinished work. Rather than seeing setbacks as normal, they are seen as proof that something is wrong. Examples can be seeing a conflict as proof of unhealed wounds, seeing anxiety as not having done enough inner work, or seeing grief as evidence that the person should be further along in their healing. With this viewpoint, no one would ever really be considered healed. Number 4, becoming hyper-focused on self-optimization. Now, don't get me wrong. Books, podcasts, journaling, meditation, coaching, and courses can all be very valuable. But sometimes the quest to heal can go overboard when you're constantly asking, what am I missing? What wound haven't I uncovered? What pattern haven't I fixed? Without giving the opportunity to just be. Why does perfectionistic healing happen? If someone has been through trauma, rejection, chaos, shame, or emotional pain, they may unconsciously decide, if I heal enough, I will be safe. So the healing journey becomes one in which the person tries to eliminate vulnerability by striving for perfection. Ironically, the more healing is pursued for the goal of perfection, the more the person may reject the most vulnerable parts of themselves that need healing. For instance, they may become ashamed of being ashamed, or anxious about being anxious, or frustrated by their frustration, or self-critical about their self-criticism. In other words, the original wound is covered with new judgment about it. What does healing look like without perfectionism? It might be the understanding that I can be growing and still struggle. I can understand my patterns and still repeat them sometimes. I can be emotionally healthy and still have difficult days. Healing doesn't mean being flawless. It means being able to meet myself where I am, honestly, when life is difficult. In essence, healing is less about reaching a finish line and more about having a different relationship with your humanity. People often feel more healed, not when every wound is eliminated, but when they feel that they are worthy, capable, or whole despite the status of their wounds. Another shadow we may encounter on our healing journey is the belief that this next version of me will finally make me good enough. This takes us away from experiencing growth for the purpose of growing and learning and toward the need to keep improving because who we are right now isn't enough. The self-improvement industry will tell us, read one more book, learn one more skill, heal one more wound, build one more habit, or optimize one more area of your life. Then you'll feel confident, peaceful, successful, or fulfilled. And sometimes these tools are really helpful. But when improvement is the most prominent way you seek out self-worth and security, you will keep moving the finish line a little further away. So why do we keep moving the finish line? Because the previous finish line becomes your new baseline. You're now feeling more confident. Then you see yourself in comparison with others. Your relationships improve, but then you see that you can communicate even better. Your emotional awareness increases, but then you see more unconscious biases and patterns. When you grow, you see more growth possibilities. There are never-ending layers for potential improvement. The person determines, I'm not there yet. But the there keeps moving somewhere else once you are there. This need to move the finish line is often based on the assumption that when you finally become the right version of yourself, life will stop feeling so difficult. But that's simply not true. No matter how enlightened and wise you become, experiences of disappointment, conflict, uncertainty, grief, fear, and self-doubt will still occur. What growth changes is how you perceive and handle these experiences. What are some signs that you are on this endless marathon of self-improvement? You feel guilty when you're not working on yourself. You consume way more personal development content than you put into action. You constantly evaluate yourself. You believe you should be fully healed by now. You don't take time to celebrate your moments of growth because you're focused on your next goal. And you feel like resting is something you must earn. The irony is that while many people begin self-improvement to feel freer, they find their time and energy monopolized by self-management. Instead of having experiences, the focus becomes racking up more data. Every mistake must be scrutinized, and work must be done not to repeat it. Relationships are no longer experienced, but serve as opportunities for feedback. Emotions are not simply felt, they are analyzed. It's like you're an accountant auditing your own life. When you're always trying to be someone new, it's hard to be the person you already are. So you may miss out on the joys that occur in your life, appreciating what strengths you've always had, moments of spontaneous joy, meaningful connections, and simple moments of contentment. The present moment is not appreciated when it's only used to prepare yourself for a future version of you. What is a healthier relationship with growth like? Well, first, healthy growth comes in cycles. It's not relentless. There are different periods of learning, practicing, integrating, resting, and living with the growth. Asking yourself your purpose for growing can be helpful. For example, am I growing because I'm trying to become worthy, or because it's part of my expression of who I already am? If growth is motivated by the belief that you must earn your worth, you will never stop having to meet new standards. If growth is inspired by curiosity, purpose, or care, you can grow without it determining your value. An additional shadow on the healing journey is awareness without compassion. This can be harsh because awareness without compassion notices every inconsistency, mistake, and limitation, and leads to evaluation. When you combine awareness with compassion, you're no less aware, but you can be present with the awareness without attacking yourself. Combining awareness with compassion is the recipe for growth. What does awareness look like without compassion? Well, if you notice that you are people-pleasing rather than simply being aware of it, you judge yourself. I can't believe I'm still doing this. I should know better. You notice your impatience. I guess I'm not as emotionally mature as I thought. While your awareness was correct, you admonished yourself. Awareness is therefore used as a weapon against yourself. What does awareness look like with compassion? Using the same people-pleasing example, the interpretation is different. I notice I'm people-pleasing. I wonder what I'm trying to protect. Or, I wonder what's draining my ability to say no. You're not denying what you see or making excuses for your behavior, but it's about observing with curiosity rather than with condemnation. Having compassion doesn't mean you lower your standards. It simply means being honest about weaknesses without making them part of your identity. If I am aware that I hurt someone's feelings, I can take responsibility, repair the relationship if this is possible, and learn from the situation without judging myself as a terrible person. Accountability and compassion can not only coexist, they often strengthen each other. Compassion interrupts the cycle of shame. Shame says, there's something wrong with me. Compassion says, something in me is struggling. This is an important distinction. Shame states you are the problem. The result is hiding, defending yourself, or becoming overwhelmed. With compassion, you can recognize that part of your experience is the problem. And when you see things that way, you can respond to the issue more effectively. However, many people think that it is self-criticism that helps them improve. They may think compassion may cause complacency, and growth won't happen. But it is often the opposite that is more effective, because when you are self-compassionate after a setback, you apply your energy to learning from it instead of defending yourself from failure or believing that you are inadequate. Imagine a child learning to ride a bicycle. If they fall, one way to respond is, "What's wrong with you? You should have learned this by now." Another way is, "You fell. Are you okay? Let's see what happened and try again." Both approaches point out the issue, but only one offers the emotional safety needed to learn and try again. When you combine awareness with compassion, you stop asking, "How do I eliminate every flaw?" and start asking, "How do I respond wisely to what I discover?" There are times when making changes are appropriate, and other times when it's best not to fix ourselves, but simply observe what is. When we are trying to fix ourselves, we may ask, "What's wrong with me? What do I need to change? What habit do I need to build? What belief do I need to challenge?" There's nothing inherently wrong with these questions, but at a certain point, it's more important to ask, what if nothing is wrong with me in this moment? What if this experience simply calls for my attention rather than my correction? It doesn't mean that we won't one day experience growth after our awareness, But it doesn't always mean there's something to fix either, because some things that you consider a flaw could be a personality trait, a temporary season in your life, a response to stress that's completely reasonable, a limit that deserves respect, a grief that needs to be experienced, or a preference that there's no need to justify or defend. For example, you don't always need to become more productive. Sometimes you're tired. You don't always need to become more resilient. Sometimes something genuinely hurts. You don't always need to become less emotional. Sometimes the emotion fits the situation. But you may feel an urgency to fix that which is the truth and doesn't require fixing. If you notice that every emotion becomes a project, or every mistake is proof of the need to address another issue, or rest feels irresponsible, or you can't enjoy progress you make because your attention is on the next improvement, or you feel guilty when you're not making each moment productive, it may be a message to stop fixing and start living. And living involves more than self-reflection. It's also about participation in your relationships, your work, your community, your creativity. When you notice the impulse to fix yourself, ask, am I responding to a real problem, or am I reacting to my discomfort with being imperfect? Sometimes there may be something to change. Sometimes it may be something that needs to be accepted. Both responses take strength and courage. With growth comes the understanding that every uncomfortable feeling isn't a sign for something to be fixed. You realize that you can grow and learn while living your life. Instead of always asking how you can be a better version of yourself, you can start asking, how can I be fully present as the person I am today? This second question often supports growth more effectively than the first one. Growth then becomes a part of your life, not your entire life. Have there been times when just living your life was a better remedy than trying to fix something? Comment down below. Well, that's it for now. Please like, comment, and share this video, and subscribe to my channel to know when the next video drops. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more tools for exploring your intuition, creativity, and self-awareness for a freer, more conscious life. See you soon.